Hey guys, what is going on? So in today's video, I have the profound honor of announcing a new makeup from my buddy Kevin at Caswell Bootmakers, based in Washington, D.C. That's right, he has never run this model before, so I'll be announcing it officially on my channel. Thank you, Kevin, for the honor. He's going to be announcing this pre-order as soon as I release the video. So first and foremost, if you're interested, I will leave a link in the description below. Go check those out. Allow me to introduce Caswell Bootmakers' first ever Moctoe boot. This is known as the Stanton Mock. It's built on a new last. It's called the Harris last. And this is in a leather from one of my favorite tanneries, the Maryam tannery in Italy. And the leather is Kangaroo. My first time ever reviewing some Kangaroo boots. This is in Toscanello washed Kangaroo leather, to be more specific. And Toscanello is a good word for it, as it's that nice medium muted brown color. So a little bit about the new last. The last is a standard E fitting and is round versus almond shaped. It's got a round shaped toe box versus almond shaped, so there's more volume overall in the toe box. So for this particular boot, both D and E widths will be available, but the sizing is still the same. I recommend true to size, true to Brannock size. For example, these are my Caswell Lisbon boots in chocolate shrunken bison. Absolutely love these things. And yeah, the last these are built on is a little bit more almond shaped, but these are a size 9. I'm a 9 Brannock. Perfect fit for sure. Once again, I'm a big fan of Caswell's. Him and I, we talk all the time. We've become good friends lately, and I'm happy to help him out in any endeavor that he embarks upon. And this is one endeavor that I have to say I'm very impressed by. This boot is going to be priced at the low cost of $359, which is very low. I mean, that's a hell of a deal. That's just a marginal increase from the $300 Red Wing price. And for that $60 upgrade, you're getting probably double the boot of a Red Wing, maybe more. Considering the materials involved here, yeah, I'd say you're getting, for that small price increase, a huge leap in quality here. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Kangaroo leather. I do know that my buddy Wyatt at Grantstone has run some Kangaroo recently, both in natural and olive, if I'm not mistaken. Both absolutely phenomenal builds there. And I also know that Brett Viberg has run several iterations in the Kangaroo leather. On BrooklynClothing.com, they offer the Viberg Slide in Asfalto washed Kangaroo. Now, the Asfalto is like an asphalt slate gray color, I would say. Why I'm drawn to this in particular is because they give a really good description of the Maryam Kangaroo leather. So Kangaroo leather is known for its incredible tensile strength and excellent durability, and thus longevity. While simultaneously being lightweight, forgiving, and very comfortable, Kangaroo leather from Maryam Concergia out of Italy features the most resistant of fibers of any leather, while still maintaining a soft and pliable feel. The washing process gives the leather a distinct and intentionally uneven grain for great texture. Brooklyn Clothing also offers the slipper in Maryam Marrone washed Kangaroo, which is more of a reddish brown color. So Viberg themselves offer 2 service boots, and there are some sizes still available. They've got the service boot, the 310 service boot in Marrone washed Kangaroo, again that same reddish brown color, as well as they offer a service boot with a perforated cap toe on the 2030 last in Marrone washed Kangaroo. A lot of sizes left in that. I will leave links to those in the description below if you're interested. So the boots that I was talking about from Grantstone included the diesel boot in Jungle Kangaroo. Those are available in a lot of sizes. So Grantstone's description is, Kangaroo leather is known for being lightweight while retaining incredible strength. The natural properties of kangaroo hide combined with a vegetable tannage create a durable leather that ages beautifully. They also offer the Ottawa boot in natural Kangaroo. You can see from the pictures the inconsistencies in the grain of the Kangaroo leather. These Caswells are no exception. So yes, they've got a very loose temper, I would say. They're very pliable. You can see as I touch it, it doesn't resist my touch at all. It gives in immediately. Unlike this Bison, it's got some resistance, you know, it's got a more firm of a temper. Kangaroo is very pliable, but it also has the strongest fiber strength, which means even though it's lightweight and it feels a little stretchy and a little gummy almost, maybe a little rubbery, still it's going to be one of the most durable leathers that there is. In addition to that, yes, I like to sort of compare leather temper to like wood boards on a floor. So I probably sound like a broken record. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but picture like an old house, how it's got wood flooring, wood floorboards, and as you walk across, you know, some of them you step on and they creak and they bend, and other ones they're like super, you know, they're super hard, super dense. They really support you. That's similar to how leather grain works as well, and that's similar to how this Kangaroo leather is going to be. It's going to have a lot of loose floorboards throughout, and it's going to be inconsistent. Now, the makers are going to position the panels appropriately to make sure that proper areas of the boot offer support. So, for example, as I'm feeling this, I can feel a structured toe box for sure here, and the structured back heel counter as well. So you don't have to worry about like the boot fitting floppily all over the place. It's not going to. Really, just the shaft is the floppy part. The rest of it is very firmly structured, just like I would expect any service boot to be. So you've got a couple benefits going on here. You've got a highly pliable leather. It's going to mold to your foot beautifully, age beautifully over time, but the hidden advantage to this leather is the durability. Now, I've never owned Kangaroo myself, so I've never put them through the ringer, but after having it tested and experimented around with different leathers in my life, I can tell you that yes, while this seems delicate, it is not delicate at all. This you could hike through probably the desert, up mountains, and through rivers in this stuff, and it's just going to keep taking beatings and just keep smiling back at you. That's what I have to say about Kangaroo leather. Anytime I've seen it in person, I've just been awestruck by it. It's unlike anything else that I've ever owned, really. You know, Kudu's different, bovine is different, horsehide is different, shell cordovan is different, and then, you know, depending on the cut that we're talking about, the area that the portion of the leather is harvested from also has an effect. One thing you can be sure of, every single pair of Kangaroo boots that you get from Caswell will be different from the next. That's for dang sure. Let's go over the specs of this boot a little bit. So these are on the Vibram Londra sole. The Londra is very similar to the Ridgeway sole. My Caswells are also on the Londra sole. Love this sole. It's absolutely wonderful. A lot of good ridges going on. So here's a Ridgeway sole. These are my Parkhurst in Raise Reverse Waxed Mohawk. Don't be alarmed by the sizing. These boots are actually an 11.5. So there's no way I could fit these. But yeah, there's the Ridgeway, there's the Londra. Very similar patterning going on. I love my Ridgeway soles. They're some of the grippiest soles I have, for sure. And that said, the Londra is no exception. For the rest of the specs, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of leather in the heel stack, as well as a rubber layer for the outsole, and then a veg tan midsole and insole. And then for the welt, of course, we've got a 360-degree Goodyear flat welt. And upon inspecting these stitches, what looks to me is that the stitches are double stitched. I highly doubt that they went around twice with the same machine. What I suspect happened is they probably used double thread while stitching the Goodyear welt here. That's super duper reinforced. Typically, I only ever see a single stitch for the Goodyear welt, but here they've done double. And I'll try to get close-up shots to show what I'm seeing, but it's a very thick stitch around that Goodyear welt. And then next we have the Moctoe. So this is going to be a faux Moctoe. It's not a real Moctoe. This is all one piece. This is going to be a superficial Moctoe, similar to the Alden Indy, which I have right here. All right, so these are my Alden Indies, also a superficial Moctoe. What that means is this is actually just a plain toe boot with a Moctoe stitched in for cosmetic purposes only. Gives it a really cool Moctoe look. The difference between the Indy and the Caswell Stanton mock here is that the faux mock actually goes along the angle of the front of the toe box here. At the mock, you've got the wall that drops down, and then the portion that goes across the top of the boot. And so it perfectly sort of delineates the angulature of the toe box, if that makes sense. So that's really cool. In other words, the mock stitching is not misplaced. It's perfectly centered and positioned where it should be to delineate the different angles of the boot. I really like that. Additionally, you can see the toe shape between the two is different. So like I said, on the Stanton boot, there's definitely higher walls in the vamp compared to the Alden Indy. Also, the Alden Indy, I don't believe is structured. It collapses very easily. There's a shoe tree in here, that's why it's not pressing down, but on the Stanton, it's definitely structured. So you've got some good support in here. I'm not sure if they use leather stiffener or possibly an insert or something of that nature, a Celastic toe box to create a structured feel there, but regardless, it is structured, so that's a good thing. In many ways, this is an upgrade to the Indy. The Indy is only stitched down with a single stitch attaching the quarter to the vamp, whereas on these, they're triple stitched. It's got a cool zigzag stitch here, which is double stitched, really like super duper reinforcing the quarter to the vamp. I mean, that's never going to come undone. There's a point for Caswell over Alden right there. I mean, the Aldens, I love them. They're great. They're super durable. They're super well made, but they lose a point on the stitching there. The Caswells, for sure, are an upgrade on the stitching. And then so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smaller antique brass eyelets, and then 2 antique brass speed hooks. The eyelet size does have an impact on how dressy the boot is. These smaller eyelets that Alden uses, Grant Stone uses on their Edward boot. In fact, I've got some Grant Stone Edward boots right here. Yeah, these smaller eyelets on the Edward boot, it makes them a little bit more sleek, a little bit more dressy. You contrast that with larger circumference eyelets, like the ones in the Grant Stone brass boot. Much larger eyelets, you can see there. And so the larger eyelets make it more of a service boot, more of a work boot appearance, in my opinion, and the smaller eyelets, definitely more of a sleek, dressy appearance. And so for that reason, I think Kevin did a great job balancing the silhouette of this boot. It's just beautiful. I love that it's a little bit rugged, a little bit boxy in the front, but then real streamlined with the smaller eyelets here. We've got a separate piece for the back heel stay, which I love, which is my preference. If I were designing a boot, I'd probably almost always do that. It gives it a really good traditional service boot appearance. Like I said, this back heel stay is structured, is reinforced, and then it's triple stitched, and then we've got a back heel strip here, also triple stitched, along with it's got a great X stitch at the top there for added reinforcement. The tongue is also Toscanello Kangaroo. That's an upgrade in and of itself. A lot of boot makers, they charge extra to have a matching tongue, so thumbs up there. We've got a rolled top edge at the throat, which again makes it a little bit more dressy, but then the eyelet facing edges are unfinished, and so once again you've got a good balance here. You've got a rolled top edge at the opening at the shaft, but then it goes to an unfinished edge at the eyelet facings. Very beautiful, very well balanced, a work of art if I do say so myself. On the inside, it's stamped in gold with Caswell Bootmakers logo. Beautiful. Yeah, what else could I say about these? I'm stoked. Kevin, thank you so much for sending me these to review and to get the word out, my friend. I am honored that you would entrust me with such an endeavor. Once again, this is I'm Aero Surfer LV signing off from my Boot HQ. Let's keep the love of boots alive. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see y'all in my next video.